So, hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Extreme Improv podcast chat show. It's been a little while since there has been an episode of the chat show, but we have a fantastic guest today, one of Extreme Improv's own. I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is David Pustansky, and I'm introducing now. This is going well, Adam. It's been a while.
This is brilliant. This is great
Adam
stuff.
Hughes. Hello, Adam.
Hello, David. Good to be here.
Joe, Adam, like the interesting thing with you being a guest on this chat show style version of the Extreme Improv podcast is you're the first time I've had actually one of the Extreme Improv cast as a guest on the show.
Oh, really? I thought we had James. I thought James had done it at some point.
We've ended up doing a two-hander where we're playing improv games, and we could play an improv game with you later as well. But as like the interviewee style episodes, I've never had one of the main cast on as a two-hander.
Oh, so lovely.
You are the first.
I'm the first. Nice.
So
brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I think a good place to start, just because it's what's happening in the world at the moment, and it's relevant. So when people watch this in 10 years time, just so they understand the context of when we're recording this, we're currently in the middle, or perhaps we're still at the early stages, we don't know yet, of the whole COVID-19 situation, the coronavirus outbreak. So everyone is currently self-isolating. How is life on that front with you at the moment?
It's very strange. I was saying last week, it's really intense. It's a really intense time for everyone. I'm completely owning up to this myself, is I took a bit too much of a relaxed view with it at first. I thought, we'll be okay. When it first started to emerge, it'll be okay. We'll get through it in a couple of months and it'll be fine. And then it really started to break a few weeks later, and it just got sort of worse from there. But I was saying, my final week at work, because I work in a school, but obviously those that don't know, I'm a teacher. That final week was just so intense. It was intense in a very strange way, in a way that I've never experienced before. Everything was really uncertain. We didn't know what was going on. Like, there was people going off left, right, and centre.
What, going off sick? Do you mean?
Going off sick, yeah. People going off sick left, right, and centre. It was absolutely mental. And so we were literally hammering home the government guidelines every single day, and it was important. Of course, it's important. It was such an intense time that I've just never experienced anything like it. And people say now we've had worse, but I can't. I don't know how we've got through it before. I don't know how we've had worse, just because, like, a couple of observations, and I'm absolutely no expert on this, but like, certainly during mine and what would be your lifetime as well, I don't think there's been a situation like this in this country. The nearest I can think would be, you'd have to go back to World War II, where they'd be stopping events, and people would be blacking out windows and having ration books. Like, literally, they don't call it rationing, but if you go to the supermarket, they're letting you in one at a time. You can take one item of this off the shelf. It is kind of rationing. And the only way I can think where they could say there's been worse is in terms of, like, flus or viruses. Obviously, there's things like the Ebola virus, which I think is the idea of it is it's more deadly. But in a sense, it's makes it worse because it's less deadly. People are spreading it more, and that means more people get it overall. Yeah, it is really scary. I remember the big foot and mouth thing a few years ago. That was quite but that never got to this scale. I don't think that got to this scale. Yeah, it was really weird. Yeah, it's just
was that when they stopped selling certain meats?
They did, yeah. I remember that. I remember that. That was on the news at one point. Yeah. It's just a really scary time overall. I think everyone kind of, no one knows what's going to happen next. No one knows what the next stage is going to be, and the fact that Boris Johnson and other people have got it, that's kind of scary.
I know, and like, I've been, like, paying attention to the news so much in the last few weeks, but in the last couple of days I haven't, just for, like, my own sanity. Same. But like, I haven't heard what's happened to Boris. Do we know? Is he still out there?
I think he's well, he's doing everything from home. He's literally, which he can do. He can communicate like we're doing now through Zoom and Skype and all of that. So he's still doing that stuff, but on a grand scale. So he's got, I don't know how he's doing it. I haven't heard anything else, but that's what I know so far.
Okay, interesting. Well, we'll probably reference about this situation a bunch more times, but we won't make this
Yeah.
the coronavirus podcast, strictly speaking, today. Let's talk about some other stuff. So obviously, like I said, you're the first Extreme Improv cast member to be a guest
Yeah.
on the chat show. So just so like, obviously we chat when we're at rehearsals, we've chatted around other stuff, but I haven't like
Yeah.
asked remind me, how did you first come across Extreme Improv when I like put out for casting or something?
Well, you put it on, or Casting Call Pro as it was known back in those days.
Yeah,
No, it may have been Mandy by that point.
it was
But
around
it
then when it
was,
changed.
yeah, it was around then when it changed, and you put it out there. And I remember seeing it, thinking, oh, that's really cool. And I knew that a couple of friends, a friend of mine had done a sort of podcast thing with you before and said it was really good. So I put out for there and I auditioned. I did the big audition day. We
Yeah,
had Angus, Ellie, and sorry, Vicky. Sorry, not Ellie, Vicky.
Vicky, yeah,
Load of people, Paul Boychat, all of that. I remember meeting all of them at the audition day. And it was just a lot of fun. Then we did the shows, and then we did a 2-day rehearsal. So I heard I got it a few
yeah.
days later, and then we did the 2-day rehearsal, which was so much fun. We did with preparing for Camden, and it was just from there. It's just blossomed from there.
Wow, yeah, gosh,
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It feels like ages ago. Yeah, it's like 2.5 years. It's not 3 years yet.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Is it not 3? Is it not 3 years? Yeah.
It'll be 3 years. I think the audition day was on the 11th of June, 2017. And I only know that specifically because my dad's birthday is the 10th of June and it was the day after.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
I remember
coming up
that.
on 3 years
I remember
since
that
that
audition really well.
Yeah, it was a good one. Do you know what? One of the things as well is on that audition day, I did record some podcast stuff. I've been trying to do these podcasts literally going back years. Hence, you mentioned, what was the name of your friend that I did it with previously?
Robert,
okay.
Robert Jones, you did it with.
Okay, yeah, certainly. I've still got like those podcasts and like the challenge at the time, and I'll have to put them out there whilst we're all self-isolating. It'll be funny to bring back like the original version of these shows and like from the audition day and stuff like that, some of these clips. But yeah, trying to like get this out. So like I recorded like stuff from the audition day. So like it'll be interesting just to see if I can find stuff from the audition improv thing. Then the first shows. What do you remember from like our first shows in the Camden Comedy Club at the Camden Fringe?
Oh, it was really nerve-wracking because I remember that we didn't really sort of know our style at that time.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you. I'll ask your thoughts in a second. But we didn't know our style at the time. I was just sort of getting to know my own style. You were getting to know yours. Everyone was kind of getting to know what their style was in terms of improv and comedy and all of that. And I remember it being a massive roller coaster. It was so nerve-wracking. I remember feeling quite nervous actually beforehand, but it was a really great experience. But I remember just feeling quite nervous. We were sort of getting to know each other. And I think how many shows did we do? Like 4 or 5?
There was four in the first Camden Fringe, yeah.
4 in the first, yeah. Because by the end one, we were really sort of enjoying it and we're really getting used to it. And we'd got used to it and having fun and that was really cool. What was your kind of impression of the first kind of set of shows we did?
I felt they went incredibly well. I thought, like, without going like into like everything, there'd been some like stuff in my life, so that I'd done the auditions in June, and then the shows were going to be in August, and I was like, gosh, I've said to people, yeah, we're going to do this, but I hadn't actually got us any rehearsals booked, and so I got the rehearsals booked, and there were literally 2, and sometimes I am like lastminute.com, hence like even with the live streams, I'm like on the day, I'm like, so are you doing it today or what's going on? And it's something I'm forever trying to like self-improve and be more organized. But I was like, there's going to be these 2 rehearsal days. They're going to be all day. And at the end of it, it's going to be fine. Because I've always had the philosophy of, well, it's improv. It's going to be a bit rough and ready. And we're going to acknowledge that we don't know what we're doing to the audience. And that'll be part of the fun. But then when we did it, I was kind of thinking, gosh, I don't know if these shows are actually going to go well. And the first one went, oh, that was really good. That went really well.
Yeah.
And they went better and better and better. By the end of it, it was like, oh, it felt like the start of a run where it's like, now we should keep going kind of thing.
Yeah, because there was a big gap between the Camden shows and then our next gigs, because I remember there was quite a sizable gap.
There was like I didn't know. Sorry, it's now like more like you're asking me the questions. But I didn't know if there was going to be a next show at all, because
really,
because like I knew I was going to do an improv show, but I didn't know that like Extreme Championship Improv, as it was first known, was going to be like the recurring theme. So when there was something at the what was it, the Bread and Roses Theatre, they had I can't remember what the name of the Fringe is. They did some Fringe festival there.
And I know what you mean.
I remember if you did that one. I think you did. I can't remember.
I did that one, yeah.
Yeah, so that was
tiny space,
Yeah, that was in October. And the thing I learned with that is I'd seen that the opportunity came up to, there's someone dropped out of this Fringe festival. Is there someone that can, like a show that is ready that can go in? And I was like, we have a show and there's nothing booked, so let's do it again. And it was a huge mistake, just because obviously there was about 8 or 9 days notice. There was no flyers, no posters. The location wasn't the most flyer friendly. So doing a little bit online, we literally had 2 or 3 in the audience. So
I think we had less than that.
Okay. I was trying to save face a little bit, Adam.
Oh, sorry.
But then the next ones weren't until January, because Paul Boychat, shout out to Paul. He said that he'd got a contact, and want to bring the show to it, and we did it at the Actors Centre, Tristan Bates Theatre.
That was a really good one. Yeah,
and then
that
the
was
next
a really
one,
good show.
And hence why it wasn't originally always going to be Extreme Improv. The next show was Not Another Scandal. It wasn't called Extreme Improv at all. But then 1 week later, we did it at the Waterside, which you didn't do, and that went really well.
No.
And it was like, okay, let's just leave it as Extreme Improv. So, wow, look at that. There you are. You've got that.
I literally found it the other day.
I don't even have these things to hand, so that is like a collector's item.
I've got a few of them. I've got quite a few.
If you just show that to the camera again, Adam.
Oh yeah.
If you show the reverse side of it, if you show the back of it though, the photos on the back, go up. Go up. Oh no, that is from the first Camden show. That one is from the Bread and Roses one, and then that's just like a photo we shot. So I was wrong in what I was going to say, but on like the very first flyers we had, it literally just was photos from the audition on there, because that was obviously all we had. So wow, nostalgia.
Yeah, great times. Great times.
Okay, so do you
have? The good thing is we've got.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying the good thing, we've got more stuff coming up. As soon as all of this is over.
I know.
It'd be good to get back out there and do some live stuff again.
Absolutely. We were getting into a real rhythm of, we'd get monthly shows here. We were about to be at the Cockpit Theatre and Brighton Fringe and stuff like that. But it's all on pause at the moment. What I was going to ask you is, do you have any particular standout moments or anecdotes? What's your favourite moments of doing the show?
Oh, Zeal Improv, I think. Probably the Zeal Improv we did last year. I think it was last year, was it?
The first one or the second one?
Second one.
Okay, so 2019.
Yeah, that one was incredible, because I just remember because I remember watching the first 2 shows, it was quite nice, we had a steady, and then we came on, and it was just, everything just went crazy. It was brilliant. Yeah, literally everything just went,
that night were the most enthusiastic audience. I think
them, and I think the one we did like one night where a football crowd came in to the August Camden Fringe show. Massive football crowd came in, and we were like, oh god.
I think Tom Garland is to blame for that. So shout out to Tom. I think he has some friends, and they were all like football fans.
Oh yeah, them. That's it. Yeah, Tom brought them along. Yeah, shout out to Tom for bringing those guys. But they loved it. And we had a really good show that night.
Very enthused and wild as well. Okay,
they were brilliant. They loved it. Yeah. What about you? What's your like? Is there anything particular that?
Something that stands out for me. gosh, there's so many. Like, so okay, so the thing I will bring up is the story which has become known as Dave and the Improv Boys.
Oh God!
So
Improv
for
boy.
anyone listening to this, and I haven't mentioned this along the way, so we are filming this as well, as so you may be watching us on YouTube or Facebook, but also you could be just listening. So if you're not listening, check us out on Watch. If you're watching, then you can also just listen. But for anyone watching, listening, we did a show after doing the Camden Fringe in 2018, I think. There was an opportunity to do a show at shall I name the venue?
Probably best not, but
yeah, okay, I won't name the venue.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, good call there, Adam. So I won't name the venue, but there was an opportunity to do a show at a venue, and
it was Italy, wasn't it? It was gonna be a Italy thing.
It was gonna be a regular slot. The only downside to being at the venue is it was an open plan venue, so we couldn't sell tickets because it was like at a pub venue, and so there'd be like, well, we could get a cut of, like, we could have a bucket on the door, or we could get a cut of, perhaps if the show does well and brings more people in, something from the bar or something. And it was like, yeah, this is exactly what we want to build upon. But when we turned up there, I'll try and tell the short version of it, but the whole pub was lit by candles. The bathroom had literally every inch of the walls, quite possibly the ceiling as well, were covered in graffiti. The only things there that had not been touched by human hands were the sinks, which are the kind of thing that you would want to be touched. They were absolutely immaculate, spotless. And when I went to the person at the bar and said, like, okay, so we're going to be doing the show here at 8 or whatever time it was, a guy leaning on the bar was like, oh, you're here for the show? I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's like, I'm the MC. I was like, no, I'm the MC. and what it turned out had happened was that they're double booked, maybe even triple booked. I'm not 100% sure, but they're double booked like a stand-up comedy night with our show. So whereas there was you, me, Angus, and Tom, I believe. Was James there? And James?
And James was there. James was there too.
And we thought we were going to be doing like this 2-hour show or like hour-and-a-half show or whatever. And it was like, well, what are we going to do? Because there's like 5 of us. We've turned up to do like a full set. And I said, well, perhaps we can share it where we do some, then you bring on a stand-up act, then we come back or whatever. And we arranged it like this. And this guy was then like, oh, I'll just phone the person in charge. And he was on the phone. He's like, yeah, I'm just here with Dave and the Improv Boys, like this, which is where the name came from. And then as we were sat there waiting for the show to begin, there was just like, oh man, the bathroom, there is, it's graffiti everywhere. It's lit by candles. There's double booked it. There's a quiz night going on and a sewing circle. And it was like, they were literally trying to keep the pub open. And I think their logic was, if they just bring in as many different acts as possible, then there's people in the pub.
Yeah.
And so when it was like, he introduced some stand-up to happen, I think, first, and then we went on, or maybe we went on first. Yeah. But either way, he came up and he's like, oh, so what shall you call yourselves? What do you call us? How shall I introduce you? And I just looked at you guys, and I was like, just call us Dave and the Improv Boys, because I felt I don't want the Extreme Improv name on it. And then we were all talking about how terrible, like, it wasn't terrible, it was like surreal how bad this situation was.
It was.
And I don't know that I suggested it, but like it was suggested amongst the group of, oh, perhaps we should just rip into the place, sort of just like make fun of the situation.
We were all up for it.
Yeah, we were. Adam, we were. And that's the relevant thing I'm specifically going to say to you here. Because,
oh, God.
In my head, I quickly formulated a plan. And I can't tell the story exactly. I'll save it for another day. Because if I say it, after all this of protecting where the venue is, it would give it away. But I told this story which, like, sort of ripped into the venue. And it was to do with, like, local crime in the area. A very famous local crime. And I sort of laughed because I thought, oh, it was really funny. And I did see that some other people found it funny in the audience, but also the person behind the bar was just stony faced, and I was laughing, and I thought, I'm going to turn around to you and Tom and Angus and James, and everyone's going to be like, yeah, this is really funny, and all of you were like, oh no.
No.
And literally, and I was like, but you told me to say it, and I turned to you and you were like, you shook your head at me, Adam. Like, no. And I was like, you all agreed that I'd go up there and have this fun. But we did the show anyway, and the audience were into it. But we left, and the funny thing, even though we were meant to be a regular slot, I literally just never heard from them again. I never contacted again, never heard from them again. But the interesting thing is, when the person first proposed it to me, he was kind of drunk, but I did speak to him. I did speak to him and someone else on two phone calls in between, and it seemed like it was all cool, all going to be going ahead. So who knows what happened there? Who knows? What were your memories?
That's really weird. Oh God, I could just remember sort of steadily as I was watching these acts go up. We were sat kind of in a corner, weren't we? We were all the candle stuff, and we were all sitting there going, "Oh, geez!" Like we're watching all these like awful comedians going up and like doing their thing. Honestly, it was so bad, and we were all like, "What is this? What is happening?" And it was, you're right, it wasn't necessarily a bad night. It was just surreal. I remember sort of going up on stage. And just the second I got up on stage, I looked at, I think this was kind of a collective feeling. I just lost it. I was like, no, inwards.
Yeah.
And it just, from there, because that's when you said your thing. I was like, no. No. And I think we just got through that by laughing. We got through that by laughing our way through that. And it just, I remember so, doing a scene with, I think, you and Angus, you and Angus. And we were just like looking at each other going, what is going on tonight? This is too weird. This is too weird. It was brilliant. It was, I mean, I look back and I laugh at that. That was good fun. It was good fun.
And like, it was. They go ahead.
When
Adam.
Was the other? Because we had two Dave and Improv.
Okay, so the next one was actually not that long ago. We did and I will name this one because this is a more positive story, but we did the London Anime and Gaming Convention.
Oh, good.
And that was only a month and a half, 2 months ago. And the reason why it comes into this same sort of headspace of Dave and the Improv Boys is because literally, once again, it was all guys doing it. It was just me, Dave, and like there was Michael, Angus, Tom. Was James doing that one?
No,
I didn't think James did do that one.
And Sam. And Sam, that's it, yeah.
And we were in front of our largest audience ever because it was like an anime and gaming like Comic-Con style event, and there was 100 seats set out, and they were packed. They were very full for the show. People have been watching other things, but then people come along to watch ours, and then they're just there. They get to see us in the price of the ticket of entry. But also there was stalls and things around, so there was about 300 people could see us, and there was 100 sat down to watch. But the thing which made it a bit surreal, two things for me, and then you can give your thoughts, is one, with these so many people in the room, we could only be really heard if we had handheld mics. And performing with handheld mics made it feel like it was like bad presenting rather than that we were actors acting on stage.
Yeah.
And then like I stupidly got us to do something that wasn't a two-hander scene. So we did a scene where like Sam was just running around the stage.
Oh, brilliant.
Continuously. And like at certain points in the show, I was like, God, this is really bombing, and we've still got 40 minutes to go. But we got through it, and it was all fine. But the other thing that made it a surreal experience, you were the first to turn up, weren't you?
Yes, I was, yeah.
So when I arrived, I knew it was an anime and gaming convention. And when you look on their website, and they're really nice people, and I've done another of their conventions, and I was about to do some more of them, except for the whole coronavirus situation. But it's like anime and gaming and other cult and geek stuff. And I was like, perfect, this is brilliant. And when I turned up and everyone was dressed like an anime character, like Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh or something like this, was like, oh, gosh, there's a lot of anime and I don't know anime at all.
Yeah.
And you turned up and I was like, okay, Adam, do you know any anime? And what was your response?
No, not at all.
But it just like dominoes, the domino effects. Angus turned up, Tom turned up, Michael turned up, and it's like, do you know anime? And everyone was like, no. I was like, do you know video games? And like, again, the specific memory I've got of speaking to you, when I said to you, do you know video games? You were like, Batman Arkham Asylum. I was like, well, that is a video game, but it's based on Batman, so technically, it's not the video game characters. And it was like that over and over again. And so we struggled with the material. And when someone said right at the very end about a particular character or something that Tom had to do an impression of, and we asked them about 6 times over, and we still couldn't identify.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was
yeah.
funny.
What were your memories of that show?
That was really funny. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that show. I thought it was a lot of good fun, and it was cool getting to hang out with you guys afterwards. It was quite nice. It was really nice. It was I enjoyed it, but I don't think, and I'd happily do it again, but I think it has to be the right convention and the right setup for us to do it. I think.
Well,
I think Anime and Gaming Con is such a niche.
Do you know what, Adam? Here is the thing, though. I then did myself about 2 weeks later the Anime and Gaming Con in Portsmouth, and the thing I learned.
Oh yeah.
The thing I learned when we were doing so for our listeners, watchers at home, we'll usually end our show with a little tournament of doing impressions, and when we did that in the London convention, I said, but you know what, we can open it up so it can be sci-fi, it can be film characters, and literally, other than that one I mentioned that Tom got, no one said any anime at all. And so then when I went to the Portsmouth show, I said straight away from the first game, this can be based on, it can be based on anime and gaming, but if you want like film characters and stuff, and literally no one gave a single anime suggestion. So I think we just tell people, because I don't think people know anime as much as we feared that they would. And so, but everyone knows The Simpsons and Mr. Spock from Star Trek and that.
Yeah.
So it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, we'll definitely do some more conventions when the world comes back together.
Good. Because that was fun. I really enjoyed it. And I love the kind of convention atmosphere. I absolutely love it. It's so like, it's really relaxed. It's really cool.
So you've been
really
to
nice.
A bunch of Comic Cons and things before, though, haven't you?
I have. I've been to MCM twice. I'm going to do it again, but it won't be May. It'll probably be in like June or July, they've said. And I've done Destination Star Trek in Birmingham. It was really cool, that one. That one was really, really good. But yeah, and LFCC as well. It's really good. Like, it's just a fantastic atmosphere, and everyone's really nice. Everyone's really chilled out. It's busy. It's very busy, but everyone is so nice and really friendly and just easy to talk to. So
have you got to meet any of the panelists, the celebrities?
I was with a couple of the Star Trek actors. I was with a few of the Star Trek actors from like Enterprise and Discovery. Star Trek Discovery, obviously, the new Netflix series. I was also in MCM. I was with the guys from Class. Class.
Is that the Doctor Who spin-off? I've never seen that.
Yeah, Doctor Who spin-off. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, Doctor Who spin-off. Oh, lovely. They're so nice. They're really, really nice guys. Really,
is the show good, though? I've not seen the show.
Show's good. Yeah, show's good. It takes getting used to, but it's a good show. It's very different to Doctor Who. But they've got some... I can see they're trying to make it like a mix of Torchwood and Sarah Jane. It's more of a mix of Torchwood and Sarah Jane than Doctor Who. But it's all part of that same kind of environment. Who else have I met? Oh, some guys from like Clone Wars and Twisted Toons, all that lot. So it was really nice, some really lovely people, and some guys from Call of Duty as well.
Oh, very, very
cool. Yeah, loads of really lovely people. Yeah, they're all really nice. Yeah.
Okay, so something me and Adam frequently do talk about is Doctor Who. So, for everyone who's listening to this, look at that. So if you're watching this, you can see Doctor Who. Hang on.
You see Doctor Who. Hey, there we go.
Do you know what, Adam? We might geek out about this in a moment, just because.
Good.
So for people listening, thinking this, at first they were like, I thought this was an improv podcast, and we're talking about the coronavirus. And then we spoke some improv, but this is a conversation. It can literally go anywhere.
Yeah.
We've spoke about doing a Doctor Who themed improv show, and I'm determined we're going to make that happen at some point.
Oh yeah.
But let's talk about Doctor Who, because going back, we've met almost 3 years ago. It is one of the things where it's like, oh, we've both got Doctor Who in common. So whenever there's new theories and stuff like that, so let's have a little bit of a geek out time.
Yeah, let's talk about Doctor Who.
Let's talk before we do. Hang on. So for everyone where my voice is disappearing to, I'm just grabbing props.
Oh wow! I'll do the same.
Do it. Oh. Anyone heard that? They'll get a sense of what I've got there. Oh, yeah. Oh, so what have you got there?
So I've got the 12th Doctors.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've got all of them.
I've got a lot of... So we've got sonic screwdrivers that we're just showing to the camera here. So I've got
what
various.
ones have you got?
Okay, so this is like the third Doctors.
Oh yeah.
How you...
That's it, yeah.
So you can hear that.
So cool.
It's probably a copyrighted BBC sound, and this will get pulled from YouTube. Then I've got the 9th and 10th.
Nice.
Do you know what? I can't even remember how you activate all of these. Oh, there you go.
There we are.
Okay.
Oh,
then
wow.
I've got the... Now, this is my favourite, just because of this whole...
Yeah, my favourite, yeah.
Thing that it does there.
Oh, cool.
And actually, I do have one more, which I haven't got here. So that was... Everyone who's listening to this wonders what's going on. We're just showing the different sonic screwdrivers from the different Doctors. So both Adam and I have got the Matt Smith sonic screwdriver.
Yeah.
And then I've got the sonic screwdriver of the 12th Doctor. No, sorry, the 12th.
This is the 12th Doctor, yeah. 12th Doctor.
Oh, is my battery dead? Oh, my one doesn't do anything. Does yours, Adam?
Oh, mine does. It goes green and blue.
Oh, hang on. I've got it.
There we go.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I've got this one. I don't even quite know what it does. I think it's like a projector of some kind. It's like It looks like the Matt Smith sonic screwdriver, but it's got like little discs that you put in it, and I think it like projects light. Can't quite remember.
Nice.
Oh, maybe this one is that. No, this one is the projector. But the battery's dead. Hold that thought. Adam's just going to tell you which his favourite sonic screwdriver is whilst I grab another prop.
Cool. Very, very intriguing discussion there. I've always loved this one. I think this one's quite cool. From Peter Capaldi's era. I like this one. It's quite chunky, but it's also really nice as well. It's quite a sort of easy to use, user-friendly one. But I love Matt Smith's design one. In the original ones, they had it like the original design of it, back when they were doing the concept designs. They had the proper, they had like a kind of like claw thing up here. It was proper like steampunky kind of style sonic screwdriver they had. But they settled on this design, and they have it flick open as well, like yours does.
Yeah.
And kind of like more of a claw design.
Got one more here, which is still in like the packaging. And
I've been looking for those. That's incredible. Where'd you get that from?
Oh, do you know what? I think I got it from a charity shop. So just to tell our audience, it says the 10th Doctor, electronic. Oh, so this is the River Song one. So
this is the River Song one, yeah.
Yeah, the River Song one, which the Doctor gives to River Song. So, yeah, I haven't got... hang on, I'm just going to go one. This is my last prop, I swear. Right.
No worries. That's really cool. The River Song ones, I think it's like phase 3 or something. It's not, phase 1 or 3 or something like that. But they're not in use anymore. That's amazing. That's so cool.
So I haven't got a Jodie Whittaker sonic screwdriver yet. Just because, they're expensive and like other things, in life you have to spend money on. But I do have it in the sense that in the shop B&M, they were selling like the Jodie Whittaker action figures. If I show the camera there, it does come with a very miniature version of her sonic screwdriver. So in that sense,
that's cool.
Yeah. So
wow.
So for those listening, we're big geeks. Basically, we've got
massively.
For those listening again, like the reason this kind of came up is because behind Adam, he's got a fantastic print on the wall which says "Lost in Space, Time and Space." And is that was from a Doctor Who magazine or comic?
No, this was it was actually from a title of, I think it's from a title of a book or something, because it was the John Pertwee era. It was the John Pertwee era poster, that is. So that was around when John Pertwee was the Doctor, which was 1970s, I think. He was the third Doctor.
1970s, yeah.
So it's really special. They've even got the old Daleks, the old Dalek design. I don't know if you can take you guys on a walking tour of my room. So you've got the old Dalek design up there. So that was when they were kind of remodeled, and the old kind of TARDIS design as well, as you can see here. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a really nice thing to have, like really nice poster to have. I did have the exploding TARDIS, but I didn't have room.
So the explosion from the Vincent van Gogh painted in the
that's it. Yeah,
more recent series. Oh, amazing!
Yeah.
I don't think I've got any things like that. Just looking around, what do I have in my bedroom that are Doctor Who props? But
cool.
Okay, so here's a little challenge for you because we'll have a little bit of fun as well. Okay, as quickly as you can, name all of the Doctors. Go.
Okay, William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker, Joe Martin, John Hurt. No, that's it. Time.
Okay, Okay, so that's excellent. That was excellent. So you have missed a few. Who was the one you were trying to name at the end? Sorry?
The one from the Doctor Who movie in 1966, I think. Or
that's one as well. So do you know who that is?
Because he's a canon Doctor, technically.
Is he canon?
Yeah, apparently he's canon.
No, I thought he's not canon. Because isn't the idea that he's a man named Doctor Who?
I read somewhere that he is canon. He's from another universe.
Well, see, there are all these universe things now, and probably spoilers for anyone who's not seen the new series yet. There's probably ways in which they're going to explain why there might be additional Doctors. But that's Peter Cushing.
Oh, Peter Cushing, that's it, yeah.
So who played... So I'm not even going to quite remember all of the names, but there's the actor who was in Harry Potter who then played the first Doctor. I can't remember his name.
Oh, David Bradley.
David Bradley played it, so he was the first Doctor. But also there was another actor played the first Doctor when they did a reunion special in the 1980s.
Oh, something Hurdnall.
Richard Hurdnall?
Richard Hurdnall, that's it.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
But you still missed a few, Adam.
Oh, who else did I miss?
Okay, so you missed...
Toby Jones?
How was it, as being the Dream Lord?
The Dream Lord, because he's a version
of the... Yeah, that's very good. The Valeyard. Who was the Valeyard?
Oh,
I don't know.
I've got an audiobook.
Yeah,
I've got an audiobook with him on.
So that was obviously an alternative 12th Doctor, I guess.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there's still more you've missed. So there is another 9th Doctor you haven't named.
Oh, Richard E. Grant.
Yes. Well done, but there is still another 9th Doctor you haven't named. Do you know
another 9th Doctor?
Okay, I'll see if I can give... I don't have something nearby to give you a clue. The nearest I can give you as a clue would just be... But it's the wrong colour. I just put something in front of my nose, which was yellow, but it was meant to be red. So if you have sort of red nose, who is the Doctor? So... Okay.
Here we go. Yeah. Oh.
In 1999, there was, and it was written by
Rowan Atkinson.
Stephen Moffat. Rowan Atkinson. Yep. Have you seen this? There was a
I have,
Red Nose Day special of Doctor Who, in which the Doctor regenerated over and over again. So it was Rowan Atkinson, Hugh Grant,
Joanna Lumley,
Jim Broadbent, and Richard E. Grant. He's played the Doctor twice. 2 different versions. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah, some major Doctor Who trivia for you on this improv podcast.
That is brilliant.
Just to bring it back to improv, but then bringing it straight back to Doctor Who or other geeky stuff. One of the things, because obviously I do the Extreme Improv Skills Show as well, where I talk about different improv skills. One of the things which is so useful, not necessary, but useful as an improviser, is if you have a good knowledge base of different films and TV programs, we don't know what the audience are going to ask us to do. So when we get something we know, if we get suddenly given Doctor Who, then I'm sure you're the same. I'm the same. I'm like, right, I've got this. It's going to be loaded with references.
Yeah.
You know, which is
Absolutely.
which is a handy thing to do.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had to do a Doctor Who scene in Extreme Improv?
No.
Have you not?
No, and I'm really gutted. What I would love to do is like a Doctor Who or Star Trek style improv. I would love to do a Doctor Who or Star Trek style improv.
We will make this happen. Like Adam,
Oh,
as
absolutely.
a thing, how, like, I'll work out if this is something which is a good idea or a bad idea. But when we do one of the upcoming extremed shows, so just for anyone listening, watching who doesn't know, during this coronavirus situation, we've started doing like streaming shows where everyone's in their homes using their webcams, but we're doing a version of our Extreme Improv show, but it's extremed across the internet because it's a streaming show. But let's make one of them sci-fi themed, like, and just make it, because like I'm fed up in times of asking for professions or something. Let's just ask for Doctor Who, Do you know Star Wars very well?
I'm more Star Trek than Star Wars.
Could you get by on Star Wars?
Oh, yeah, I would easily get by. I could easily get by on Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and mix all of these in. If we just do just a Doctor Who special, that might make it a bit too niche. But we'll see. We'll see. We might try it, Adam. We might try it. It might just be you and me.
Expanded universe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure. I think Alan's very into his Doctor Who as well. So
yeah,
we'll see if we can do a Doctor Who themed improv show over the net.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be so cool.
Okay, so just a couple more Doctor Who themed questions, and then we'll get on to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Although I'm not, I can just about get by talking Star Trek, but only to a degree, only to a certain.
Yeah.
So, who's your favourite Doctor?
Oh, that's always a difficult question. Mine's got to be a mix of either Peter Capaldi or Matt Smith, because I love the fact that Matt Smith was so quirky. I mean, I loved David Tennant. I thought David Tennant was incredible and an amazing actor, really great Doctor as well. But Matt Smith just had a whole alien quality to him that was just brilliant. He was really nerdy, really geeky. He was very like, he wasn't a superhero.
No,
he wasn't trying to be a superhero. I think David Tennant's Doctor was very much about being a superhero and about saving the day and being really sort of charismatic. Whereas Matt Smith was about, literally, like he said in his own words, it's about running around in space and time and just having fun, really. It's about like fish vampires and stuff like that. And I loved that. That's really summed it up. And Peter Capaldi's Doctor, when it was written properly, was just fantastic. He's an incredible actor. When he played the really sort of downtrodden, grumpy kind of Doctor, he was brilliant. And like almost paranoid. He was almost paranoid at times, and I liked that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so I'll throw in a couple of thoughts, and I'll give you my favourite as well. So what was so good about Matt Smith is he had all this kind of like weird bow ties are cool kind of thing, and he was like a complete geek and say weird things. But then when he was serious, you were like, oh, the Doctor is, he's still the Doctor. He's still going to save the day, and, he's super intelligent and everything.
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi, I completely agree. When he was written well, and that was usually when he was serious, because that played to Peter Capaldi's strengths. He was excellent. When he was, but when he was playing humour, it would be good because it was such a contrast. The only times I didn't feel like he worked as well is often they would downplay his role, perhaps to Clara, or it would just be that. Something I think has been a problem with Doctor Who a lot is often the Doctor needs saving. And it's like, what would you do? Like, even when they first brought it back with, what's his name? Christopher Eccleston. In the first episode, the Doctor was doomed. Rose had to save him. And when it was he was against the Daleks at the end of that series, he gave up. He was going to be like, oh, I'm going to let you... I guess I'm going to let you win, and then Rose had to save him. It's like, well, what would happen if it wasn't for the companion? But
true.
Anyway, so my favourite Doctor is Matt Smith as well, which I'll lean into. And it's interesting because I'm of an age where I just about could say that Sylvester McCoy was my Doctor when I first was able to watch it, because it was just on, and then the reruns for the next few years meant that he was the contemporary Doctor.
Yeah.
And then when they brought it back, I liked Eccleston, I liked a lot of Tennant, but I felt that I really got into it and really became. Oh, my phone just made a weird noise, but it's not a phone call. Don't panic, anyone. It just went bum, 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 like played some guitar riff. No idea why. But yeah, I really got into it during the era of Matt Smith. So I sort of feel like most connected to the whole story with him and River Song and Amy Pond and everything like that. So Matt Smith, I'd say, is my Doctor.
Is your Doctor. An unsung hero, I think, is Christopher Eccleston. He's a real unsung hero of Doctor Who, because he brought it back. It was his Doctor that brought it back, and he was a brilliant Doctor as well. Very different to anything else that had just been. All the other Doctors were very like happy-go-lucky and quite like quirky and not one-dimensional, but they were quite. I know they they had like that particular. They had like a. I don't know, a youthfulness about them, all of them, even the kind of the older ones had a kind of youthfulness, where Christopher Eccleston was really beaten down and really worn out.
Grizzled, wasn't he?
Yeah, grizzled. And Paul McGann's Doctor became that to an extent, but he wasn't like that in the movie. So for people who aren't like hardcore Doctor Who fans, their experience of him has been the TV movie and then the Regeneration mini episode in the 50th anniversary. Whereas if you listen to the Big Finish episodes, he's a really beaten down, really sort of low down Doctor. He's very he's beaten down by everything. And there was a really brilliant audiobook called The Trial of the Valeyard, where the Sixth Doctor is put on trial, and the Valeyard is his.
Is this a TV show?
On trial. So the Doctor. So there was the Trial of the Time Lord, which was
and then
Colin Baker.
I don't know the Big Finish stories.
Well, the Big Finish story. This is based on. It's all canon. Big Finish is all canon, I think. But it's based on.
It is because of the Paul McGann mini episode, because he mentions all of his companions. That's a trivia point. I didn't know.
Oh yeah. He mentions it all in that. Yeah. He mentions it all there.
Yeah.
Mentions all his companions, but he. So basically, there was an episode where the Sixth Doctor had to counsel the Valeyard in his final trial, or his trial as it was, and the Valeyard and the Doctor go into like a kind of temporal kind of shutdown matrix where they have to like basically discuss the court case before the court is re-adjourned. And Valeyard goes, "I can tell you about your future selves." He's like, "I don't want to know." And Valeyard said, "So you got your next incarnation, which is Sylvester McCoy, who plays a really deadly game with like people's lives, and he's a trickster. He plays deadly games with people's lives and he sacrifices those." And then he goes, "And then your next incarnation, which is Paul McGann," he said, "will never ever be able to shake the shadow of death." And Paul McGann's Doctor has so much death in his stories. So many people die, including his great grandchild, including who's Susan's son. Sacrifices himself to save the Doctor. And then loads of other people die in the attempt, and it's a really heartbreaking kind of story. It's a really heartbreaking journey for Paul McGann's Doctor, because he just experiences death at every single turnaround. It's really special. But his Doctor was very beaten down. If you sort of really follow his storyline.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, do you know what? I'm gonna have to check out some Big Finish, especially I've got all the time in the world now. So.
Yeah, do. It's really good. Big Finish are excellent. They're absolutely fantastic.
Okay, so moving on from Doctor Who, who is your captain then?
My captain, my Star Trek captain. Got to be Janeway.
Actually,
I mean, I was.
Okay, go for it.
Well, because
I didn't even know if that was a choice, Adam. I'll be honest. I thought it was always down to Kirk or Picard.
Oh, now you see. The thing is, for me. See, I loved Kirk and Picard. I was introduced to it with Picard. I remember when the series was on. I can remember when the series first started. Yeah, I can remember it. It was. I was introduced to it that way. So it was all very like Technicolor and very like flamboyant and a bit more serious than the original series, but still very flamboyant and very silly. Not silly. It's the wrong word. Like it was unintentionally funny. In that way.
Sure.
it was really unintentionally funny. And then you have Deep Space Nine, which was good. Deep Space Nine was fantastic, just very all set in one place, and it was very political. It was all about politics, because it was about the Bajorans. Then you had Voyager, and I think Janeway is she was such a like brilliant captain, because she was very like insightful, but she was, I mean, she broke the rules about 1,000 times because she was stranded.
The only thing I see, like, I saw a lot of these at the time. I can say I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan. I wasn't a fan of the character of Janeway. I didn't like. Maybe it was the actress. I found her a bit annoying. I didn't particularly like her. Is my honest memory. I might love it now, because this was when I was a kid, and I think I found her too serious, and I wasn't a huge fan of her. It just didn't gel with me. But like I said, I didn't watch tons and tons of it. No. But for me, my favourite captain is Kirk, and the reason
Kirk.
Now, I have seen the whole original series of Star Trek probably dozens of times over. Not that I couldn't dissect every episode and say about things to the degree I can with Doctor Who, but I've seen all of them, and to me, there'd be social commentary in it, which is cool, but there would be lots of action, and there'd be, Kirk fighting like a lizard monster, or like a giant floating space ball that's making and they're like the mirror universe and all these kind of things, and there'd always be the actions and the thrills along the way. And then I thought that the Next Generation onwards was a lot more diplomacy rather than fist fights and stuff like that. And I'm sure I would love it all, and I'm very keen to watch the new series Picard, as well as Discovery as well. But I wanted like space fights and action and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I think Star Trek moved away from that. I think it moved away from the whole space fights, but I think there was still some in Next Generation. Definitely, there was loads of space fights in Next Generation.
We'll see,
but not so much in Voyager.
My favourite Star Trek movie is First Contact with the
brilliant film,
and that's Next Generation. But I was just like, the idea of that villain is so terrifying. Be assimilated.
Oh, the Borg,
yeah.
They were brilliant.
Yeah.
No, go on.
No, you go.
I was going to say they were brilliant villains. They're so terrifying. They're really scary. The Borg, they're just brilliant. They're just absolutely terrifying.
Okay, so well done. Are you Team Data or Team Mr. Spock?
Data, I think.
Really, I'm Mr. Spock every day.
Really?
Yeah. Live.
Do you call him Mr. Spock?
Well, what do you call him?
I call him Commander Spock.
Well, check you out. So, in the original series, he wasn't a commander yet, was he?
Really? What was he in the original series?
No, he wasn't a commander. He was because there was Captain Kirk. He couldn't have been a commander over Kirk, surely.
But commander is beneath captain.
Is it?
Yeah, commander is second in command.
I don't know my Federation ranks that well.
Oh, so it goes cadet, ensign, lieutenant commander, captain, admiral, vice admiral, admiral.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know. Okay, so here comes your next challenge. Name all of the captains and the actors that played them. Go.
Oh, geez. Okay, cool. So let's see. We have Kirk, played by William Shatner. Picard, played by Patrick Stewart. Captain Cisco, played by Avery Brooks. You have Janeway, played by Kate Mulgrew. You have Captain Lorca from Discovery, played by Jason Isaacs. You have there's another one coming. I don't know what the captain I can't remember what the captain in Picard is called. I can't remember.
Okay, I have no idea. So this is uncharted territory for me.
That's as far as I can get.
You can go further. Yes, go for it.
Can I go further?
Yeah. You can't go further, but you can go.
I can span some more captains.
Well, okay, but
I can expand out.
you haven't named all of who was the original captain of Star Trek, Adam?
Oh, Captain Pike.
Yeah.
Captain Pike. I don't know who he's played by though.
It's annoying. I can't bring him to memory either. But Captain Pike, and
No.
then who? Then there was the Kelvin universe. Is that the correct term?
The Kelvin universe.
That might be the wrong term. So
yeah.
the new J.J. Abrams movies.
Oh, got you. Oh, that's So that's Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, and
Chris
then
Pine
there was a guy who played Pike in that as well.
Oh yeah, and in Discovery as well.
Oh, is Pike in Discovery?
Yeah, he's in Discovery. I met him as well.
Oh, hang on, there is one more you haven't named. There's one more Star Trek series you haven't named.
Captain Ransom from Voyager?
No, go back in time. Okay, so Discovery is
series.
Sorry, no, not that one.
Enterprise.
There you go.
Enterprise. Yeah, that's so. Oh God, I know him. I can see him. That's Captain Archer.
Yeah, played by.
Oh God.
I can tell you, this one I do know. Scott Bakula.
That's him. Yeah.
Jerry, it's funny.
So cool.
I was doing a film shoot a few months ago, and a guy who was in it as well swore that it was pronounced Scott Bakula, like Scott Bakula. I was like, who's that? I was like, no, it's Scott Bakula. You know, because he was in Quantum Leap as well. And so I had to bring up when he was on like the Tonight Show or something like that, where they introduced him. Now Scott Bakula, and I was like, there you go.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, did you ever watch Quantum Leap?
No, is it good?
Oh, it is brilliant. Like, what
is it?
So, so for everyone watching, listening, I'm about to give you an education in the glory that is Quantum Leap. So, Scott Bakula plays a scientist called Sam Beckett, who invents time travel. And the way the time, like we've spoken about Doctor Who, where a man goes into a magic box, and the box dematerializes and rematerializes somewhere else. In Quantum Leap, the idea is that a time traveler's conscience goes back in time into someone else's body. And so he wakes up in the past, and he has a reflection which is not his own. And he has a mission which they debate throughout the series. Is it God or time or some unknown force which is driving his time travel from one life to another, where he is putting right things that once went wrong? So without giving like massive spoilers, he wakes up and he can't remember anything. And he looks in the mirror, and when he looks in the mirror, you see a different actor's reflection. And so when he moves his hand, they move their hand. And basically, his conscience has gone inside, gone inside the body of someone else. And he connected to his brainwaves in the future, because it's set in 1999, which when you see 1999 is weirdly futuristic, because this was made in the 80s. He has like a companion who appears to him, because it's just within his brainwaves, as a hologram. And the hologram is a guy called Al. And he has a little handheld device called Ziggy, and it's a computer that works out that some event in this other person's life back in time, something went wrong, and it might be that they caused an accident, or they got killed, or they lost a job, or a relationship broke up. And from episode to episode, character Sam will have to fix whatever went wrong in time with that person to sort of correct their future. And what's so genius about this show is that this idea that he can be in 1962, then he can be in 1983, then he can be anywhere else, and he can be all over America, and it might expand so he's in other countries as well. Is every episode can be a completely different story. So even though there is the story of he is trying to find his way to leap back into his own body so he can be home, every episode he is trying to solve someone else's life, someone else's crisis, and it's got episodes where his conscience goes into a woman, and so it plays with the humor. And it might be, I don't know if it'd seem dated nowadays, but I don't think it should do. But he'll be like, they'll play with the humor that you see a man playing a woman, and then other people speaking to him as if he is a woman, and they're like doing their hair, or he's pregnant or something like this. And there is the one spoiler I'll give you, just because it's a great thing to try and convince anyone to try and check out Quantum Leap. There is an episode where he quantum leaps into a chimpanzee.
Oh my god.
And it is one of the best episodes. But it can have episodes like that which has got a lot of humor in it, but then there's an episode in it where he's trying to stop someone being like attacked by the Ku Klux Klan. There's an episode where he leaps into the body of someone with Down syndrome, and it tells those issues and those stories.
Wow.
It can go from being like very comedic to very serious to being like a thriller. There's an episode where he leaps into the body of a horror writer and he meets a young Stephen King. It's got lots of very clever ideas in it.
Oh wow.
I think you'd like it,
That's
Adam.
so cool.
I definitely recommend it.
I will definitely watch that. That sounds really cool. That sounds awesome. There's talks of another Star Trek series coming out. I've watched the panel of it. It's called Lower Decks. It's a canon Star Trek.
I've heard of something about this.
Yeah. Oh, it's really cool. I've been watching the panel from San Diego Comic-Con last year, so it should be released later this year. And it's basically about all the lower decks on a really unimportant starship in the Federation. And it's basically about this starship doing its rounds around the universe, around the galaxy, and basically doing really menial, like unimportant, low-ranking jobs for the Federation. And it's a comedy series, and it's about like the ensigns on this ship and about the bridge crew, and it's just going to be like a canon comedy series. So it's set, I think, around the time of Picard. Oh, it looks so cool, and it's going to be canon as well, which is going to be really nice.
I like that idea. I like that they're having fun with it, and they'll do something that leans more into comedy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's keep it on the geek theme, because when we did our live streaming show, which again you can see, and I'll give the quick plug here, just go onto the Extreme Improv YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Extreme Improv or facebook.com/Extreme Improv. And at the moment it's being every Wednesday, but there may be some other days too, where we do this streaming improvised comedy show. But on our most recent episode with Adam on it, you actually mentioned that you've got a Harry Potter podcast or something.
Yeah, so it's in development.
That.
Yeah, so it's in development at the moment again. So me and my friends did a podcast called Dissecting the Magic, and I'm looking to carry that on again. And it's basically analysing all of the characters in the Harry Potter world. So we've done Professor McGonagall, Snape, Voldemort. We've done a couple of others as well. And we're basically bringing that back again and reintroducing that and getting the kind of and understanding those characters again. So I'm really looking forward to it. We do that. So yeah.
Okay, so are you bringing that back, and it's not quite back yet?
Bringing it back, not quite back yet, but it's coming back. We've got episodes already released, but it's going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be a bigger thing.
Amazing. So, Harry, and what's it called? Dissecting the Magic.
Yes.
Okay, so who's your favourite Harry Potter character? Is it Harry or
no? None of the main three. I love the main three, but they're not my favourite.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would say probably Professor Lupin, because he's a very very kind, very nice, but he's also got there's a darker kind of secret to him.
Yeah.
But even through all of the kind of stuff he's been through, he's a nice person. Also, Snape is a very complex character. He's not someone that can be like, you can't say, oh, he's really good or he's really bad. I don't think he's good or bad. I think he's just he's an incredibly complex person. So it's an interesting kind of person to look at.
Yeah. Okay. So my favorite character, and I might change on this. Have you?
I was going to ask you, do you like Harry Potter? Are you like a? Okay. Are you a big Harry Potter fan?
I've seen all of the films dozens of times. I've heard the audiobooks.
Yeah. I love the audiobooks.
A couple of times over. I've never just sat down and read them cover to cover. But that's because I'd seen all of the films, I'd heard the audiobooks by this, just because my sister, she was much more into it before me. And so I was super familiar, and it's just like, it's been a part of like pop culture in my life for so long now. It's like, I've seen it so much, and every time Harry Potter is on, I've seen it. Rachel, who some of you will know, who've seen Extreme Improv Live or some of the podcasts, or seen our vlog series Jet Lagged and Loving It, or Locked In and Loving It. So Rachel does the shows, but she's also my girlfriend. Last year we went to see the Harry Potter play in the West End, The Cursed Child. Have you seen it?
I've read it a few times, but I've not seen it, and I really want to see it.
You know what happens, and don't worry if you're listening, I'm not going to give any spoilers. I will not say anything that happens in the story. But at the moment, since I saw that performance, I think my favorite character, and so in the future, if you've seen up to the final film or read the last book, you know that Harry has a son at the end who is starting off on his first day of Hogwarts, and the Cursed Child takes place after this. It's a sequel, so that's no spoiler there. But there is, all I'm going to say is the name. There is this, all of the characters. It's like a Disney sequel. So in the Disney sequel, when you watch 102 Dalmatians, it's about the puppies. When you watch The Lion King 2, it's about the little lion cub that was held up at the end of the first Lion King movie. And with the Harry Potter sequel, The Cursed Child, all of the characters have got their equivalent child. And Malfoy has a child in it called Scorpius. I won't say anything about what happens with this character, but and I'm sure it's probably done this way every time. The guy who played him was brilliant. And his delivery of every line, my comments on it was that he delivered every line exactly the same, but it was funny every single time. Oh, he put on a voice where he's saying something like this, and it goes high at the end. And no matter what he said, in that way, it was brilliant. And I loved that character. I was like, that is such a good character. Like, and I was saying, they need to make a film of this, and they have to get that guy or someone doing that. You don't think so? You don't think there should be a film?
No.
Why not?
No.
Why
I
not?
think it's its own separate entity. I think Cursed Child is its own separate entity, I think.
Do you not think is that not canon? Do you not think it counts?
I don't know. I think it's. I don't think it should be a film because it's such a successful stage play.
Yeah, but
making it a film will be counterproductive.
It took like a year and a half to get tickets. You know, so many people will never see this.
Yeah, but then once they've seen the film, they won't go and watch the stage play. I think it's a successful stage play, and I think it should stay that way.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, but I think the problems I have, I just don't see a lot of the characters in it.
Yeah,
I think, bar the children.
Yeah.
So a lot of the characters, so Hermione, Ron, Harry, other characters that turn up. I shall not mention. Their fate would not have been that way, knowing what we know of the characters in the books. That's not their future. I don't think that's their future at all. Yeah, I don't think that's their future at all.
Interesting. And again, we won't give spoilers, but another time, Adam, we'll delve into what you mean. Delve more into it. Yeah,
we'll delve more into it.
Okay, so let me ask you a couple more improv related things, because time is going on, and I won't keep you forever. You could just go on.
I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying it.
No, me too. But I'll tell you what though. Let's say we'll do another one of these. We'll pick this back up. Just because in terms of people watching or listening, they'll reach a certain point of fatigue listening to Star Trek and thinking, where's the improv?
Yeah.
So we'll ask a couple more improv questions, but then we'll get Adam back on the show. You know, if you want to do it again in a week's time or something like that, I think we should do part 2 of this.
Amazing. Let's do it.
Okay, brilliant. Okay,
and I'm back for the shows, and obviously I'm doing the shows next week on the extreme shows. Extreme shows. I'm doing that.
Fantastic. Okay, so a couple things. Do you have out of the Extreme Improv games, or perhaps if it's something that you've done like somewhere else before or since or whatever, other than Extreme Improv? Do you have a favorite improv game or a least favorite improv game? What's your favorite improv challenges?
Two. I've got two. So my first one is from a radio show called I'm Sorry, I Haven't a Clue. And I've said this so many times, you know this, you know what I'm going to say. Because I listened to it already. I listened to it yesterday when I was doing my work. It's called Mornington Crescent, this game. Yeah. And it's such a ridiculous and really silly game. And I think the other games are really intelligent. They're really intelligent, but they're really funny. But just Mornington Crescent is just so silly, but it's so well done.
Okay, how many players do you need for Mornington Crescent?
5, I would say. I mean, okay. As long as you get enough to do like a round, a round of people.
I am going to try and watch and listen, because I've heard it, but I don't listen to Sorry, I Haven't a Clue enough to know this game that well. So Adam has been saying to me for at least 1.5 years or 2 years that we should do Mornington Crescent, and we've never done it yet. But the streamed show, maybe we should try and do Mornington Crescent on there somewhere.
I think it will work well as an audio. I think it will work well on the podcast. But it's because it is, you're right. But I think with Mornington Crescent, it's literally because they make up such ridiculous rules that you're never quite sure what the actual rules are. Even on the website, it's so convoluted and so daft. It's brilliant. It's just so well done. And my other favourite from our show, from Extreme Improv, I love. I almost forgot the name of it for a second. I almost forgot the name. I was like, oh no, I'm starting to forget. What's the name of it? I love Styles Clash. Styles Clash is my absolute favourite. It is a top game because it's just so fun. You can go anywhere with it.
Okay, so just for our viewers or listeners at home, just to explain what we mean by Styles Clash, if you are initiated within the world of improv in general, Styles Clash is a version of film and theatre and television styles, like they might do on Whose Lines It Anyway or other places. But as well as, so every so often we'll be performing a scene, and every so often we'll freeze it, and the actors would continue it in a different style, such as continue as a horror film or continue as a musical or continue as a Shakespeare play. But on Styles Clash, to mix things up as we try to on Extreme Improv, it isn't restricted to different genres. So we might continue it where you all continue it as a different type of animal. So you suddenly might all be bunny rabbits. Or we might continue it with an accent. So you might all suddenly have to be like put on Jamaican accents or Irish accents, or as a time period and stuff like this. But it's absolutely one of my favorite games too.
Yeah, I love it. It was a really great one we did, me, Tom and Angus. And I think you got us to do it because we were like literally going on about it. I don't know what started us off talking about it, but we were flyering and we just started talking about how great it was. And that's when the joke came up of just Styles Clash. Anytime anyone mentions Styles Clash, there'll be like at least another 5 minutes of just Styles Clash. What?
We'll demonstrate what that sounds like. So I'd say, so now we're going to play Styles Clash.
Styles Clash.
Styles Clash. Styles Clash. Clash. There's just like this echo that goes on and on, and it's something where I quite like how it sounds fun, and I think the audience, even though they don't get the in joke, it's something that's funny. It's something that
it's fun for them. Yeah.
It's just like they can tell that we're having fun with it.
Yeah, they love it. I love Styles Clash. I think it's absolutely great. It's a great game. I remember we had a really good game of it, me, Tom, and Angus once, and it was just a lot of fun. Like we just really enjoyed it. We had a great time up there. It was good.
Okay, brilliant. And what's your least favourite improv game?
I don't know. I think Alliteration Anarchy probably.
Ooh,
I think I've never been good at that one. Is that way? I'm 100% correct on this one. That's where you have to start a sentence. Sorry, each word has to, or like you're given a letter, and then every word has to. That's the one. So I can never get that.
Okay, so just for
I can't think quickly enough.
Again, the way it will work is you are literally allowed to say any words you want when you're performing this scene, and there might be 2, 3, 4, 5 people in it. But you have a goal, and that's that each performer is assigned a letter of the alphabet, and as much as humanly possible, the performer has to begin as many words that they say with the letter they've been assigned. So, for example, if I was assigned the letter S, I might say, "Sorry, Stephen, Sandra sat smothering her son silly sausage or whatever. And that way you can say her because it begins with something else, but you try to make as many words begin with the letter you've been given. But I like that game. I do like that game.
When it's done well, it's really good. When it's done well, it's really good.
The problematic thing is the audience always want to give us like the letter Q and K and X, and like they all think it's funny.
All the worst ones. All the worst ones.
So sometimes I'll remind the audience, well, actually, this scene isn't going to be as good now because you've just given us something that's too hard to achieve.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh well,
that's good.
Adam, this has been brilliant. I've really enjoyed this.
I've really enjoyed this as well. This has been great.
We will do a part 2, and we're going to get into more. We'll get into like some comedy influences, and we'll get into more stuff with just like how the world is going on around us with everything. Have you found that you've got any stock issues? Did you manage to get any pasta in and? What else is it? Toilet rolls. And I read that tin tomatoes apparently is a rare thing to get these days.
It's a new thing, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Been all right. I remember there was like a 2-week period where I couldn't get anything, and that's when I really started to worry because I'll come home from this was when the final week, I think, before everything shut, and I went into the shops after work because I was still working. I came back from school and I went around the shops. And there was just nothing. And I was like, oh, Jesus. I was like, Jesus Christ. That's brilliant. Evil genius. I love it. And you got the chair as well. Red velvet. I like it. Red chair. Nice, like, evil genius chair.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, that was a complete visual thing, but I'm not going to explain it to the audience this time. They'll have to watch the video to know what
they'll have to watch the video to get what happened there. Because that was genius.
Sorry, you were saying. So
I was saying, I was really worried because for 2 weeks there was nothing. I was just living on toast for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, that's desperate times.
But things do feel like they've come back into stock. People have panic bought, and now they're starting to just think, okay, we've got stuff. There is still stuff. We don't need to worry.
Yeah, it was all right now. It's okay now. How's yours? Are you like?
Yeah, like pretty much everything is stocked up. Like a couple of weeks ago, when I figured like, oh, WOMs, if there aren't toilet rolls, I ended up buying like about 4 or 5 kitchen rolls, thinking, well, just in case, we've got the kitchen rolls. And we've got plenty of pasta anyway, so we weren't fussed about that. But there was a stage where we couldn't get milk, like a 2 or 3 day periods, like so cereal. And what I did is I got some porridge oats, because you know how you can get like oat milk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I figured like, well, if you get some porridge oats and pour water in it, like it goes very milky looking, if nothing else. So psychologically, it was like I suddenly had milk. And I'd recommend it. If out there, this is my food tip.
Your advice.
So if you get porridge oats and just put some cold water to it, it kind of creates like a milky thing. But I actually find it really refreshing, and you don't even need to like cook the porridge. Adam's giving me a funny look. Try cold porridge oats just with water. Don't cook it. And you might be surprised. That's my
okay. I can see. Is it a bit like Weetabix? Like, is it a bit like eating Weetabix?
It has a bit more of that texture, but also if you think like people make flapjacks, right? So they're just like oats. So it's kind of like having that. But if you need to, put a spoon of honey or something in there, or some golden.
There we go.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Try it.
Yeah.
Because cool. Like cooked porridge, it might be like I don't really want like hot cereal for breakfast.
Yeah,
but so you can do it cold. That's all I'm saying. Give it a go.
That's
guys.
pretty cool.
Give it a go. Okay, Adam, tell us, where can we find you on the old social media and stuff like that?
On the old social media, you can look me up, Adam Hughes Actor, which is on Facebook. Also find Dissecting the Magic, because there's going to be stuff coming up there soon. So yeah, that's where I'll be. How about yourself, David?
Well, thank you, Adam.
What's your page?
So my name's David Pustansky, which is spelled Pustansky, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But then, of course, the Extreme Improv stuff. There are so many places. Usually, the easiest way of saying it nowadays is whatever the social media website is /Extreme Improv. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, youtube.com/Extreme Improv, and there's all these podcasts. So this is the Extreme Improv podcast chat show. So if you've got if you just go onto any of your favorite podcast platforms, if it's iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify and so on and so forth, and just search Extreme Improv. There'll be a bunch of podcasts come up, so you'll be able to find them all there.
Nice.
So thank you so much for coming on the show today, Adam. This has been great.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. It's been really good.
Until next time, thank you very much, all of our viewers and listeners, and we will say bye for now.
Bye for now, guys. Thank you.
Bye.